One of the big challenges that everyone is facing now because of technology is how our communication has changed so dramatically. I mean, right now, over 3 billion people in the world use the internet, and over 2 billion people have smartphones. So technology has shifted the way we communicate. And one of the things you've probably noticed, and this can be confirmed now, texting surpasses using the phone with millennials. A Gallup poll was done in 2014, and it actually showed that there's been an increase over the last 10 years of what used to be about 800 texts a month to now 1,400 texts a month per person, per millennial. Now, what that means from a communication standpoint is that there's a more reliance on texting and email, and people aren't actually talking to each other. Nobody's picking up the phone. And this, for many, is very irritating. And for others, it's just the way business is done. So I'm going to give some guidelines on when texting or when email is the right thing and when you should pick up the phone. So when you're texting, great tool. I text myself. When you're texting or when you're emailing, it's particularly good and useful for when you're conveying information. I'm going to be late for the meeting. On my way. Would you please pick up a quart of milk on your way home? The train arrives at this time. Very specific information, logistics, all of those things are well positioned to use text and email. And it's interesting, I've had lots of conversations when I've said, well, did you talk to them? Yeah, I sent them an email. Sending an email is not the same thing as talking to someone. And yet we've replaced email and digital communication, texting, Instagram, all of those, with having that human-to-human contact. In fact, I've even heard stories, this is like crazy to me, but I heard stories of people breaking up with texts in relationships. It's like, that's insane. If ever there was a time that you actually should have a human interaction, it seems to me that that would be it. Now, we're finding the same thing in business, where business people are missing out in that human connection because the default has gone to digital communication. And we're missing out on the opportunity to actually connect with other people. So when you're just logistics, basic information, absolutely. Digital communication is perfect. It's really, it doesn't get much better than that. But when you're actually establishing connection and relationship with somebody else, pick up the phone. Speak to somebody. Look at them. Have a conversation. See, our digital communication only gives us one band of the communication spectrum. We can't read intonation. We can't read emotion. We don't see and can't discern some of the underlying communications are taking place there. And we're hungry for having that kind of connection with it, of having that emotion. And that's why we created emoticons, emojis. We had to have some way of inserting that into our digital communication. So when you are attempting or desiring some sort of connection with another human being, when you want to persuade them, when you want to influence them, when you want to motivate them, it is not going to happen with a text. And very unlikely that it's going to happen with an email. Pick up the phone or see them face to face. So data exchange, perfect with digital communication. Relationship, persuasion, influence will happen when you speak to somebody. So pick up the phone. Don't lose the opportunity to have that connection.